Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is going on, Canes fam? I am Matty Ice. He is Caniacs, and this is a Canes Calling Pod live. You might notice we are a man short tonight. Chris had some family matters that he had to attend to, so it's just me and Caniacs, the dynamic duo.
Back again.
The lovable pair. Yes, back at it, back how we started. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, wife was off today like normally on Tuesdays, and we went through Home Depot. We were only going to go get a couple little things and ended up buying gallons of paint and had to paint the whole bedroom today. So I was very productive.
You actually did some work. Wow.
I did some stuff today, man.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I got to tell you, man, I'm super excited. You want to know why?
Why is that, my friend? Why is that?
We are going to be going to a Miami game together. And I think... Yeah. No, yeah. I know. I forget you're old and you forget things.
No, I didn't forget that.
Yeah. I'm excited because some of the OBB fam is going to be there. Some other Canes fans that I interact with too. So, I mean, I think, dude, it's going to be awesome. Are you excited?
The Michigan State game should be lit. I mean, like Jazz is talking about going. It's her birthday actually that day. She'll be on next Tuesday also. Throw that cheap plug in there. But
all the guests, man.
Yeah, it's going to be her birthday that day. So, I mean, and then, hopefully we'll have some other people there with us to do some celebrations. And, I'm excited. I can't wait. And in fact, when I mentioned it to the wife, she was like, yeah, let's not go to Atlanta. Let's go to Miami instead. I was like, oh, twist my arm. Okay, that works. So we're going to go to that game instead of the Alabama game.
Well, I mean, it should be an interesting game too. Michigan State, they were 2-5 last season. Kind of a weird season. They beat Northwestern and Michigan, who were both like ranked at the time.
Right.
I totally forgot about this. And then they lost. I forgot who they lost to. Ohio State.
I think they got obliterated by Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
They lost to like Rutgers, and I forgot who else they lost to. But just kind of interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup just because they kind of remind me of like our team from like 2 years ago or 3 years ago when our defense was so dominant, but our offense was terrible. Because
17, right?
Yeah, if you look at their defensive, like their statistics, they give up a lot of points, but not that many yards. And it's just because of turning the ball over and getting good field position and stuff. So I'm interested. I'm wondering how that game's gonna go. I know they got a couple guys that left on defense for the NFL, and I know they had a transfer quarterback come in. I don't know how good he is, so we'll just kind of see. But I'm excited. That's a big name school. So I'm excited, man.
I'm excited too.
I'm ready for the tailgating. I'm ready for the South Beach experience, man. I don't know about you.
You've never been to South Beach?
No, I've only been to Orlando for Disney World.
I've been to South Beach. It's okay. I mean, you're young enough. You'll probably love it.
Yeah, I'm not in my 30s yet, so I'm still spring breaking, bro.
I got you. Yeah, but you'll like it. It's nice down there. I talked to a couple of guys in the chat, and I'm probably gonna look around Hollywood Beach. They said that's a nice little place to stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know you're gonna hook it up with the hotel, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff, some researching and some things because that's what I do. That's what I do. So
I know. So man, you ready to get into this? We got a big day here. We're gonna talk. We had another scrimmage. Scrimmage number 2's in the books. We got a scrimmage or spring game next week.
this Saturday.
This
It's
Saturday.
Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Televised.
I'm gonna be in Denver, by the way, so I'm gonna be catching that one from Denver. Me and the girlfriend are going on a trip, so
Heck yeah.
now that we're fully vaxxed,
There you go. Vaxxed up,
Hey.
traveled up.
Yeah. So, and then we're gonna be joined by Derek from the Kane Gang show, man. So that's gonna be exciting. I'm ready for that, man.
I'm ready for that too.
Yeah, we're gonna do some all hype sounds right with him, and talk a little spring ball with him. So I'm really excited.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm ready to hear what he's got to say about
yeah.
I am.
You ready, man? You ready?
I'm ready. You want to do the 305 check-in?
Oh yeah. So I thought we could kind of start this off. Do you want to talk some Canes baseball or basketball first?
We can go through the baseball real quick.
Okay. You want to do your thing?
Excuse me. So Friday they dropped the game 1 to Pitt, 12-6. That ended a 6-game winning streak. They're now 17-9 and 10-8 in the ACC. It was a disappointing comeback, down 3-1 to take the 5-3 lead in the 6th. The bullpen just imploded after that. And then Saturday, we lost again 6-4. They had the bases loaded both in the 8th and 9th innings, and they didn't even score a run. Jake Smith had 3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and 1 hit, and 9 Ks. He did have Smith had 9 strikeouts, which was a career high. Gill has 4 home runs and 8 RBIs in a 5 career game versus Pitt. And then on Sunday, Pitt scored 11 unanswered runs through the 4th and 6th inning, just 2 innings. We even had the lead going in. It was bad. They dropped the game 3 to 12-5. We were swept in the process. It's just bad. It was a hugely disappointing series. They may not even get to host a regional now because of that. So they're going to have to really kick some butt on the way out. And the next game is Wednesday at home against FGCU.
How good is FGCU? Do you have any idea?
Well, we beat them last time.
Okay.
Pretty good. But I mean, it's this team this year, you don't know, but I mean, they've been the midweek games,
right?
Yeah, but the midweek games, they've just been smacking them. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just the weekend games. We just can't get it together like when we need to get it together,
You want to know why, dude? They're at Miami, bro. They're partying it up and stuff.
That's it. That might be it. That might be it. Yeah, that might be it.
Oh man. I mean, hopefully they can turn it around.
They're gonna have to win some series here, or like I said, they're not gonna be able to host it now, and then or the regional, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. So, are you good on the baseball front?
Yeah, I'm good on the baseball front. What's up, Greg?
What's up? Hashtag Luca to the U. Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Absolutely. So, man, I kind of wanted to go over basketball a little bit, if you don't mind, just because there is some news since we last talked. I think I want to start. So, Anthony Walker, Dane Gok, Harlan Beverly, Rodney Miller, they all announced that they're returning. Some other news, though, Cam McGusty actually announced that he's declaring for the NBA draft, but he's maintaining his eligibility. So I think that's if you don't get drafted, you can return to the team. Yeah. So I expect him to return. It's not a knock on him. It's just, I think this is a good class this year. And, I think he would need another year of showing out, Other news, though, we got a transfer.
Yes.
Jordan Miller, not to get mixed up with Jordan Miller from the football team. I don't know if you saw there's like a funny meme of like the Spider-Man, like they're pointing at each other with
I didn't see that one
with their faces. Yeah, I'll send it to you after the show. It's really
that's
funny.
Cool. Yeah, check it out.
They both retweeted it. He's a guy from George Mason. He was their leading scorer last year, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists a game. someone that's he's more of like a slasher. He has the ability to make the three. I think he's just he just doesn't really take that many. It's not really his game, you know. He's a good rebounding guard, as you can tell, you know, 6 rebounds a game. And he's also a pretty good defender too, pretty capable defender. So I think he's going to help us a lot. We needed another wing defender. So I'm trying to think of what the total is of how many players. I think we have spots for 3 more guys, I believe. So including, because we still have to sign one more freshman. He has until tomorrow to sign his NLI, Bensley Joseph, the point guard. We're also bringing in Nassim Poplar and Ja'Kai Robinson. They already signed those, so they're already like good to go. I think that, man, we could really use another either like point guard, like on-ball guard, or just somewhat of a playmaker, someone to kind of take that away from, you know, McGusty and stuff, because I think he's better off ball and stuff. You can tell because when he's asked to do that, you can look at his turnover numbers; they're not good. So I mean, I think we also need a big too, a mobile center. You know, we lost Nasir Brooks, who literally came here for a year and dipped. You know, just like Elijah Oloniyi. So that's kind of where I'm at and where I think the number should be. But I mean, hopefully they can get a couple guys, because their rotation is going to be slim if that's the case. If they don't, you know.
Yeah, it was slim last year. It's going to be a slim again. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully there's some sort of like, they need to address, like, there's no, like, it's becoming too much of a thing with all these injuries every single year. Like, there's no way it's just, you know, we have this bad of luck. I think that there needs to be, you know, they need to actually look at the training room and see, like, do we have the best people on staff, you know? So that's just my opinion.
Need to go over there and talk with Mr. Feely over there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they need to bring someone in or something. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. So do you want to get into our 2 minutes of heat, and then we can bring Derek on?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do it. So Caniacs, as you know, the Heat traded for Victor Oladipo. He's, I mean, borderline all-star level like player. He's a solid player, two-way wing player. The Heat have been playing pretty well. He kind of came down with a knee injury a few games ago, so he's been out. I think that they really, when you look at them now, the defense is just so much more solid rather than the start of the year. I think it's really going to come down to offense, you know. Duncan has been more consistent though, shooting the ball. It's just a matter of, you know, finding that consistency on offense and stuff. They're playing Phoenix tonight, so I don't know if you're going to have that one on. I know you're a little bit of a Suns fan over there, so that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm interested to I'm going to have it in the background. I'm not going to be able to watch it, but I'm going to have it on the radio because I mean they're doing really good, and you know I'm not going to get on the Suns talk, but Devin Booker, man, oh my God, that kid is just.
Well, even Chris Paul too, like that guy is like revitalized.
Well, since he joined the team, the Suns have been just, I mean, from last year to this year, it's night and day difference. But I mean, we won't get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. But yeah, so they're currently in 5th place. It's really interesting because between 4th to all the way down to 8th, I believe, there's only like 1 or 1.5 games separating those teams. So I mean, if they can just hold on and not have to play in those play-in games, I mean, that's going to be big, and you know they're going to give some teams some trouble. You know, they're going to be one of my favorites coming out of the East, especially if Oladipo is healthy, coming off that knee injury. Then I mean, I'd be worried to play them, man. Oladipo,
I wouldn't want to meet him in the beginning.
Like that is, that's a nasty combo.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I mean, I think we just went over a little bit over 2 minutes, but that's okay, man.
I'm going to get the counter, so we won't do that anymore.
The countdown counter.
Yeah,
man. I was gonna bring up a couple things with the press conferences from last week, but do you want to just wait to go over that with Derek?
Yeah, let's just go with Derek. I mean, that way we don't have to go over it twice.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to bring him in?
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. There he is.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas, man? Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, we're now joined by Derek from the Kane Gang Show. How you doing tonight, Derek?
I'm good, man. Just excited. Obviously, this is a big week, getting ready for the spring game, and we'll see what transpires, on Saturday.
I know. We're excited as well. We kind of wanted to start it off here with like a little game that we have.
Okay.
It's called All Hype or Sounds Right. So you're basically going to tell us if these topics we bring up to you are all hype or if there's something you can see like happening.
Okay.
That makes sense. All right.
Okay, you ready?
Roll it. Roll. All right, Derek, I want to ask you about something you guys have on your show, and I know you have on your show because we asked Jordan the same question. Zack Mcleod, do you think that he is a viable candidate to start at defensive end? Is that all hype? Sounds right. All the hype that he's been getting, Jess Simpson has been giving him credit for how he's been working. Even Manny too. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to go with sounds right. I'm a huge Zack Mcleod fan. I have been since freshman year. I think it only is going to benefit him, obviously playing linebacker, and now just putting his hand in the ground. He's putting on some extra weight. So he has the motor to get to the QB. And again, he has the instincts to come off the edge as well. Obviously, there's a couple clips him, blowing by Scaife. And if you even watch the Oklahoma State game, he only had 2 days of practice before that bowl game, and he literally was getting to the quarterback. And I think what's beneficial for him this year is having, like you just said, Jess Simpson coming in there now who can teach him the tricks, what to do on that end. So I'm buying that, man. So that's not hype, man. That sounds right for me.
Okay. I appreciate that. One thing too that Jordan also brought up too, I don't know if you remember this, he had said that Zack Mcleod was actually like 30 pounds underweight of like what he should have been for a defensive end or something. Yeah. And so just taking that into note too, it's like that's crazy that he was still out there competing. Yeah,
he's I think he's up to about 265. Again, if he can get up to about 270, 275, and remember, we don't have a lot of, I don't want to say talent, but we don't have a lot of experience besides DeAndre Johnson, who was a transfer from Tennessee. You have Harvey on one side. I don't see why Zach couldn't push to be a starter DN on that, come, September 4th against Alabama.
Absolutely. Going back to that, so starting against Alabama, do you think D'Eriq King will be 100% in that game against Alabama?
I think mentally he'll be 100%. Body-wise, I think he's probably high 80s. Again, everybody's body, everybody's, body is different. I'm hoping that he's 100%. I would hate to go in there with a redshirt freshman, true freshman quarterback, going against Alabama. I think, an 85%, D'Eriq King gives you the best shot over a true freshman or a redshirt freshman.
Absolutely. So last one I wanted to ask you about, all hype sounds right. Rhett Lashley has been quoted saying that he wants a feature back. There's been a lot of hype about Donald Chaney. What are your thoughts of him starting against Alabama and being the feature back this season?
So finally, just a quick off topic is we finally have depth at the running back, right? Jalen Knight and Don Chaney. You also have Thaddeus Franklin. You have Cody Brown coming in. But people are still sleeping on Cam. Like, I just think Cam is a beast. I think certain running backs have to have a certain amount of carries to really get going. And Chaney showed flashes last season, but Cam showed a lot of flashes too. So I still think it's Cam's job to lose, and I think that's going to be predicated in the fall. And actually what happens in the fall. But it should be a good battle. But at least we have, 1A, 1B per se. And again, I think Jalen potentially can outseed all of them.
Yeah, kind of following up on that too. What are your thoughts on those comments by Rhett Lashley talking about having a feature back? I don't know if you saw Jalen Knighton. I think it was last Friday. In his presser had said, like, you know, he likes the idea of having a feature back because you can kind of get it going. There were times last year where he felt like he couldn't really do that because he didn't get enough carries. So what are your thoughts, though?
I think it's all going to be predicated on how the game is going. If you're, you know, again, if you're up by 10, you're up by 14, and you can just kind of pound the ball, then by all means, you know. But if you kind of are down by 10, down by 14, I think it changes your game plan. So I think it's all predicated. And listen, we can sit here and say, hey, listen, that sounds good. But at the end of the day, I think you have to take it game by game basis. And, you know, who knows, man, a turf toe, you know, a sprained ankle, you know, something happens and, you know, that whole philosophy is out the window.
Yeah,
True that.
absolutely. Absolutely. I want to kind of shift gears to a position where I think a lot of Canes fans kind of have frustrations with some certain guys. And I think you might know where I'm going with this, the receivers. Who do you think we are more likely to see an increase in production from this year, Mark Pope or D. Wiggins? I don't know if you saw D. Wiggins' comments today in his presser. He was talking about the competition and how, like, the young guys are really coming after him, almost like he was a little surprised. But what are your kind of thoughts on this?
You know, obviously, you know, I think your starters are Rambo and Harley. I mean, I think that's a given. Believe it or not, my personal opinion is I think Keyshawn Smith comes in and takes that other, you know, starting spot. You know, you know what you have in Pope and Wiggins. You've seen it for the last 3 years. You know, now it's time to see what these other kids get. You know, with the drop passes that are just continually happening, you know, game after game after game. Go back to the bowl game. You know, Pope literally cost us the game. Wiggins cost us the game. You know, and then you finally throw like a Redding in there or a Keyshawn Smith who can make catches. But don't, you know, we still don't even have Romello Brinson, Jacoby George, Brashard Smith even on campus yet. So, like, as much as I like to say, you know, well, let's see what happens, there's a lot of talent that's going to be in that wide receiver room. And it's going to be interesting to see how Lashley, you know, uses everybody. Brashard Smith is just a burner. I mean, it's like that's someone like you can't keep off the field, whether or not you're doing, you know, jet sweeps, bubble screens, you know, stretching the field. It's going to be interesting to see how the season unfolds with all these players.
Absolutely. And kind of backtracking on what you said about Rambo, how much of an impact do you think he can have this season?
You know, it's funny because it just seems like the last couple of years, all of our primary weapons and our big time players have all been transfer guys. You go back to KJ Osborne, you know, even last year with, you know, Jose Borregales, you know, again, these are all transfer guys. You know, obviously Henley, you know, he was, you know, a JUCO guy that came over, but all of our, you know, Roche, Phillips, everybody that's been the best players on our team the last couple of years have all been transfer guys. I like what I see out of Rambo. I like his speed. I like his height. I think he brings, you know, that, and I'm tired of using the word swagger because it's just, that's so like overplayed,
Right.
but he brings a different type of attitude to the team. Obviously playing in, you know, the Big 12 at Oklahoma. If you watch what he did against Florida in the bowl game, like I was thoroughly impressed. So it could only benefit us. It can't hurt us to have, you know, another big body because we really didn't have any big bodies. We had Wiggins, but really he didn't play big. You know, he never really went up for a 50-50 ball. And if he did, he didn't come down with it. So I think Rambo just brings a different type of attitude to the team. And hopefully it resonates, you know, with the younger guys to seeing what he's bringing in and doing as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I know we're talking a lot, I'm bringing up the media days a lot. Rambo actually talked to the media today, I believe, as well. Caniacs, there's a little clip I wanted you to play from that.
Yes, ma'am. Most deaf. You know, beginning when I got here, it was a lot of things that, you know, in the receiving room that we didn't do that we're doing now, and we're just getting better as practice go on. You know, scrimmage wise, we had 2 scrimmages, got better in both of them, and just being around the guys every day, talking to them in the group chat, just getting each other better, and just feeding off each other.
What are your kind of thoughts on that? I thought it was super interesting just because when KJ Osborne came in from Buffalo, I feel like that was kind of something he said as well. And then Mike Harley honed in on it last year that, you know, the receivers weren't doing what they were supposed to do. What are your thoughts?
Well, they're not staying after practice. They're not hitting the jug machines. They're not just doing what they should be doing. And, so I'm an old school guy, right? I've been going to games a long time. Last night I had the pleasure of interviewing Melvin Bratton and just talking with him. And I'm good friends with people like Brian Blades. And when you talk to some of the old guys, you didn't have to have the coaches policing them, telling them what to do. They took it upon themselves to go out there and throw at each other and catch and run routes and practice. And, it's a mindset thing. And Melvin Bratton hit it on the head last night. It's an attitude. These guys have to have that attitude where they want to get better. They shouldn't have to have someone tell them what they need to do to get better. First of all, again, you have upperclassmen. They should know what they need to do. Don't take your eligibility and don't take your scholarship at the University of Miami for granted. Go out there and earn it. People just put on that uniform now and they're satisfied because they're wearing the uniform. Go out there and respect, and kind of just, be respectful of that uniform. You know what I mean? People sweat and bled on Green Tree and bled in the OB. They did that for a reason, And again, I just think that today's generation, they don't want to uphold that legacy that those older guys, set before them. So it's just a different type of mentality. And I think a lot of it is created by ESPN and social media, because they're giving them all these rankings and all these stars. And in high school, that's one thing, man. And you're getting these rankings and stars on 7-on-7s. Man, put some pads on, go across the middle where you know you're going to get hit, man. It's different, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, speaking of the receivers, and one person that I feel like really, and you had him on your show last week, was, Restrepo.
I was going to bring this up.
he embodies what it means to be a Miami Hurricane, just like a Jimmy Murphy. It's they appreciate the time and the opportunity to put that U on that helmet. So those are guys that I like to see get a lot of burn because it means something to them. It's just not another guy coming in and playing for Miami. These are guys that want to be here, and that's what you need. You want the guys that want to be at the University of Miami. Not just decided to come because they had 20 different offers and said, "Oh, I'm just going to go to Miami." Man, put that U on that helmet, man, and represent that to the fullest. Don't lollygag with it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought it was really funny. Someone asked Rhett Lashley who he wanted a spotlight in terms of the receivers. And he's like, well, I don't want to talk about individuals, but then he brought up Mike Harley for his leadership. And then he brought up Xavier Restrepo for his work ethic and, everything he puts in. And, talking to him last week, you can really tell, not just on the field too, in the classroom too, the guy is just dedicated in life,
Yeah, no doubt, man. And he's a good kid, man. And I'd like to see him, he's playing in a crowded position, right? You're looking at slot, man. Again, Jacoby George, Brashard Smith, Mike Harley, Restrepo. There's going to be, some competition, playing in that slot. So, but he's the type of guy that maybe you throw him on the outside from an occasion, and but again, that's where I go back to Lashley's going to have, a creative, pot in order to mix things up, and be exciting to see what he does with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never know. Maybe X will throw some passes too,
There you go.
He's a pretty good QB. So
yeah, no doubt.
So when everything's said and done, who do you expect to be the leading receiver in terms of yards for Miami next season?
This might not be a fan favorite comment, but believe it or not, man, I think Will Mallory is going to shock people. I just think he's a huge body. Maybe like a safety net for, whether it's Tyler Van Dyke or, Derek King or whoever. But Mallory he's a mismatched nightmare. You know what I mean? As much as people like Brevin, Will's just a special player. Now, your receiver is going to get the yardage. They're going to get the catches. But believe it or not, I think Will Mallory has a huge breakout season next season.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. I think he's a baller. I'll tell you what. I always love too when they flash a camera to him and he's wearing that headband.
Oh yeah.
It
reminds me of like Rocky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Rocky. I always think of that movie Dodgeball, Dwight Goodman. I think I bring that up every time we talk about Will Mallory.
Oh,
but
man, that's great.
That's funny.
If you're watching this, Will, no hate, man. You're one of my favorite Canes.
It's all love, man.
It's all
you
love.
already know.
So kind of just in general, talking about this offense, second year under Rhett Lashley, we have a full spring. What are kind of the steps you're expecting to see this year in terms of improvement?
So obviously your offensive line should be, just dramatically improved. Obviously you're returning everybody. Zion Nelson, I think, is getting much bigger, getting much better at left tackle. You get Donaldson back, which again, he's just a behemoth of a human being. And if he can keep his weight under control, you got him at left guard. You have a senior in Corey Gaynor, who I think is really anchoring that line. Now, on the right guard, whether or not it's Scaife, whether it's Clark, it's debatable. I mean, I think that's kind of my suspect is right guard. But again, and then you have Jared Williams on the right tackle. But you also have Jalen Rivers, Isaiah Walker. You have Seymour, Rodriguez. Like, you have guys that can potentially come in. And this is what's beneficial for the University of Miami, where we haven't had the depth at O-line, what we have now in many, many years. So it's finally glad to be able to see that, hey, if one person goes down, we have somebody that can step right in. But the continuity for that O-line that gelled together last year and be able to come back for a whole nother season, I think it's only going to improve, number one, your pass blocking, but also your run blocking and opening up some holes. So that's what I'm excited to see. I mean, I know, again, I'm a big ugly guy. I like to see what happens in the trenches because what happens in the trenches, whether it's offense or defense, really decides what happens on the outside, whether it's your receivers, your backs in the flat, your quarterback being able to scramble, and on the defensive side of the ball, again, what is Nesta and Miller and those guys going to do up in the middle? Because that middle is really what's going to define how your linebackers play. If you have solid D tackles, you go back to like the Jerome Browns and the Cortezes and the Russells and the Vince Wilforks, that allowed your linebackers freedom, when they took on double teams, and that allowed your linebackers free reign to kind of shoot gaps and, take control of the game. And that's going to help like the Corey Flaggs and, Tyreek Austin Caves and Sam Brooks. So that's what I'm looking for as far as into the season is how is our two interior lines going to hold up? Okay.
And something I was actually going to ask you too, you kind of spoke a little bit about that offensive line. Who are you projecting starting wise? You talk about the depth that we have that we haven't had in years. Who do you like as the starters for next season?
Starting left tackle, I would go Zion Nelson, and then Donaldson, Gaynor, probably Scaife, and then Jared Williams. They pretty much gelled together all last year. Besides Donaldson, obviously they kind of rotated a lot of people at left guard. But again, if he's healthy and he has his weight under control, like I just think that really just benefits your offensive line.
Yeah, he's a people mover.
100%, man. He's a big dude. I mean, he came in freshman All-American, and then again, it's one of those things. I don't want to call anybody lazy, but you never know what happens, right? You just kind of just say, okay, well, I'm here, I'm going to play. And, again, you stop putting the work in, and then all of a sudden, you kind of gain a little bit of weight, you kind of get out of shape, and those types of things happen. And, he sat out most of all last season, except for like the final game or two. So hopefully bringing him back and having him back. And that goes with all the other guys that decided to come back, to like the Mike Harleys, Derek Kings, Zack Mcleods, Donaldsons. I think that's just helping you with like team leadership as well, because that's a great bunch of guys as far as leadership to have in your locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
Absolutely.
with that.
Yeah. So kind of shifting gears, you referenced it a little bit in your answer as well. I feel like that this isn't as big of a storyline as it should be. The defensive ends. How worried are you about the position? Who do you kind of see as someone who can step up as well? What are your thoughts?
So defensive end to me really is just containment, right? I mean, again, I don't think it's nothing, like you have to have rocket science for. Like literally you push up the field, you turn your backs inside, you just hold containment. Obviously we've been blessed the last couple of years to have, Jonathan Garvin and Gregory Rousseau and Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche, and again, they're able to they're different type of athletes, right? So they're freaks in nature. We don't really have that per se. I think going into this season, like Harvey, I think should be solid. He's finally going to, get some PT. You don't know what you're getting from DeAndre Johnson. I mean, obviously he played at Tennessee and he played in the SEC. So, that should mean something. We already talked about Zack Mcleod. So it should be interesting, and again, like what happens with some of the guys, the Chance Williams, the Cam Williams, guys like that, are they finally going to step up and, and be able to, crack that rotation and get burned. We haven't even talked about someone like Leonard Taylor, who's not even on campus yet. And again, you're talking about the number 3 overall defense, overall player, the number 1 defensive tackle. So that can only help your defensive line as well, So I think with the big bodies in the middle, and again, bringing Jess Simpson back and be able to twist and stunt and, do some different combinations, I think that's really going to benefit our ends. And again, he's a great teacher. He's just not a good coach. He's a great teacher, good technique person. So no disrespect to, the coaches that we had over the last couple of years, but, it's nice to finally get someone like Jess Simpson back at the University of Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because we've seen what he can do.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm hoping to see is, again, against North Carolina, obviously he went against Stacey Searles a couple of years ago when Searles was the offensive line coach and he was a, defensive line coach. So I just think the last couple of years, man, our D-line got, just destroyed by North Carolina. So that should be an interesting matchup between Stacey Searles and Jess Simpson with that North Carolina game.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. Someone you name dropped a guy that I'm really looking forward to this season, Cam Williams. I really like Cam Williams. Super lengthy guy, super athletic, freaky athletic. I think Greg Rousseau actually in an interview had said that who was your guy to watch and who who's your guy to watch, and he kind of referenced him and he said he actually reminds me of me. So I'm super excited. I think he can break out this season. How much so, remains to be seen. We'll see.
and I forgot to mention his name, and I think he's probably going to be a starter is, Harrison Hunt. I completely forgot about him. Obviously, he was injured latter part of the year, but, he literally, from what I've seen from him, literally has All-American written all over him. I think he has the goods. Again, it just goes back to that mindset, how bad do you want it, so that's another name too, we should be talking about moving forward, getting ready for Alabama.
Yeah. Talking about taking a jump forward, Corey Flagg has been making waves. I think he's been one of the names most talked about during the spring, because he's the favorite to take that middle linebacker role. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think he's going to be able to make that big of a jump this season or what?
So I'm a big Corey Flagg, fan. I think he has the goods. And if you watch him, he's just old school, man. There's no gimmicks to him. It's literally downhill. And one person who impressed me as well last year at the end of the season was like Bradley Jennings. He finally, came to what we thought he was going to be. So with the combination of Flagg and Bradley, again, you have other guys that are coming in, the Troutmans and people like that, the Thomas Davises, but Corey Flagg just seems like he's a special individual. Again, it's just if you're going to hold down the middle, and we really truly haven't had a solid middle linebacker. I mean, you go back to Shaq, for 4 years, but really you just need somebody who can understand and call the defense, right? You need somebody in the middle. Again, I look at Dan Morgan, I look at Vilma, you look at, Ray Lewis and George Myra. Like those guys knew how to, come together and see something and react and call it out. And that's where, your middle linebacker is pretty much, that's your play caller right there. He's got to be able to see everything. And if Corey's going to hold that position, man, it's a big undertaking for him, but I think he can handle it. And I'm excited for him, man, because, again, I think he has the goods.
Yeah. Dude is a tackling machine, man, and I can't wait it. Kind of a random statistic, too, that I kind of want to bring up now that I thought about it, Caniacs. Last year, Derek, do you know how many tackles per game our 2 starting linebackers averaged?
3.
Just like a random guess. Oh, like 3 each?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually right. Actually right. It's
3.
6 combined, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I think Corey Flagg can actually reach that number by himself. Yeah.
Correct.
So hopefully we'll have.
And that's why I go back to, again, I think it's all predicated on the defensive line. Again, if your defensive line can, take the double teams, that they can, stop the guard for getting to the second level or the center for pushing up, I think your linebackers are going to be really, really, impressive, making tackles. But you got to wrap up. You just can't bounce off guys. You got to be able to wrap up and actually bring the guys down too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of wanted to bring up some of the young guys, specifically on defense. Who's a name freshman-wise, incoming freshman, that you expect to make a difference? Maybe besides Leonard Taylor and James Williams, just so we can maybe get a different name from there, because I think those are the easiest of the answers.
Avante Williams, Cam Kitchens, you know, and again, I like to see Troutman too. I think Troutman just plays with a ball of energy. Again, I don't know how much he'll get on the field, but I can definitely see him getting burned on special teams. But Cam, I think, is going to be I think Cam Kitchens is going to be a name that people are going to want to know, man. He's just a ball hawk. He's a headhunter, you know, coming out of Northwestern. You know, again, it's different like that Dade County football compared to, you know, other areas of the country, right? So, again, I think that the logical answer would be, you know, the James Williams, the Leonard Taylor. But for me, I'm going to go, you know, Cam Kitchens, Avante Williams, you know, and like Deshaun Troutman, people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Avante has been a big name too out of spring, you know. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year. You know, I think he's too good to not be on the field.
No, agreed. You know, and obviously he had an injury. Obviously that's kind of been cleared. You know, obviously he wouldn't be practicing if it wasn't. So again, you know, he was a highly touted recruit. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be, you know, on the field and playing.
Yeah. So I want to talk about probably one of the biggest changes on defense. Manny Diaz is calling plays again. I think that under him, we probably had our most dominant defenses in a long time. Whether how much of that has to do with personnel versus, you know, him actually calling the plays, we don't know. That's too hard to, you know, establish. But what are your thoughts? How much of an impact do you think that can make this season?
Well, now it's all on him, right? I mean, obviously, if your defense sucks, there's no scapegoat. You can't blame Baker. You can't blame Packey. You can't blame Rumpf. Like, you literally got to blame yourself. And this is where I think, you know, someone like Bob Shoop, you know, that hire is going to benefit Diaz. I think he's real. I think someone like Bob Shoop is actually going to call, like, game plan the defense, you know, kind of, you know, behind the curtain, so to speak. And but again, I think it all falls on Diaz. I mean, look, and I got to give Diaz credit. When our offense sucked a couple years ago, he fired Dan Enos and he brought in Brett Lashley. Our defense has been horrible the last couple of years as far as, you know, with Baker, whether or not Diaz was part of it or not. But he righted the wrong. He brought in someone like T-Rob. He brought in T. Will, who eventually went to be with back with Malzahn. So again, like, you're doing what you should be doing as a head coach, right? You're getting rid of, you know, what's broken and you're trying to fix it. But now it's all on you, because at the end of the day, like you say, you're going to call a defense. If your defense is giving up 40 points a game and 400 yards, do you fire yourself? I mean, what kind of accountability are you going to take, you know, as a head coach when this is your defense? And this has been your defense. And our defense is no secret. It's get the ends up the field as quick as we can, you know, blitz. And again, like, you know what you're getting out of the defense. It's the same thing we've seen since 2016. So nothing's changed.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Derek, you excited about the spring game this weekend or what?
I never get excited about the spring game, only because, like, I mean, honestly, like, I keep it real as I can, man. Like, it's a spring game.
Right.
It's just one of those things where it's probably going to be basic vanilla. You know, you might see some wrinkles, you know, thrown there, you know, here and there. I'm excited to see, and I've been a Tyler Van Dyke fan since he stepped on campus. There was a lot of hype, you know, coming through this through the fall with the Jake Garcia recruitment and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously he was, you know, committed to USC and things like that. And I'm a loyal guy, right? TVD, you know, signed out of Miami, came to Miami, stuck with Miami. Like, those are the guys that I like. You know, I don't like the guys that jump ship and go here, because that just tells me, you know, if you're not going to get any PT, who's to say next season you're not hitting the transfer portal, right? Because, you know, and again, TVD looks the part right now. So I'm excited to see him. Like, so as far as the spring game, I want to see what he can do. I want to see what the offense can do. How does the O-line handle the D-line? How does the running backs, you know, pick up, you know, blitz protection, things like that. That's what I look for. Because at the end of the day, throw the ball, catch the ball, run the ball, you know, kick the ball. It's all basic stuff in spring. You know, it's really when you start game planning for the season is when I start getting excited.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just excited to watch another game, man.
Something, you know, right? I mean, I watched that Florida State scrimmage the other day only because I wanted to see how they looked. And, bro, like, I literally was just laughing. Like,
did you see some of those videos coming out of that?
Yeah, it's brutal, man. But you know what? Again, but I think Florida State's going to get better, and obviously you need Florida State.
True. Yeah.
You know, you need Florida State to get better. Because it just helps you, you know what I mean? And we've been fortunate to win the last few games in a row, But again, we lost 7 in a row to them at one point as well. This year we play them, in Tally, so it's gonna be, they're home, and I think we should be fine this season. And once you get past Alabama, I really think you can run the table. Clemson really doesn't scare me. Again, like I told people before, if there was a time that you wanted to play Alabama, now is the time to play Alabama. New quarterback, new running backs, new receivers, new O-line, new D-line. 3 of the, your secondary is gone. So, like, now is the time to play Alabama. You have nothing to lose. You go out there and you lay it all on the line. You sling the ball, like I'm a big Varsity Blues movie, if you guys remember that. Like, run Todd wide and run the home to home. And I don't care what you have to do. But, bro, like, don't get embarrassed. Because the 3 games that we lost last year, we were embarrassed by. We came back with Oak State, and made it competitive. But at the end of the day, you were getting blown out 21-0 from Rip. And, the Clemson game was just a debacle, and the Carolina game, that's on a whole different level. But, you just have to be competitive in these games, and the games that we should have, like, blown people out last year, we struggled with. The NC States, the Pitts, the Virginias, like, those are games that we should have just been beaten by. We should have been beating people with 21, 28 points, So we'll see how it goes when the season comes up and if they're ready or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how every team's backup quarterback had like their career game against us. Too.
Always.
Funny how that works out. What was that NC State Bailey Hockman or whatever his name was?
Yeah. He should have just declared for the draft right after that game, even though they lost. Like, should have just declared, said, look, I'm done. I'm opting out. You know what I mean? So
something funny, too, actually, going back on that Florida State spring game. I was DMing a recruit that was at the game, and I was like, oh, man, I didn't know women's football started this early.
Oh, wow.
And he's like LMAO. He's like, why did you got to do him like that? I was like, dude, their quarterback's name's Mackenzie. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. And not for nothing. I'm gonna give mad props to Mackenzie Milton. Obviously that injury he had at UCF was bad, and but I think he's going to be another Hornibrook that's going to Florida State. I think people are going to tee off on him because all it takes is one hit to that leg, and his career is definitely going to be over. And their O-line is so suspect. So we shall see. We definitely shall see how they open up.
Yeah. Well, Derek, I don't know where you are, like regionally. Are you in Florida or? So
yeah, I'm in Parkland. Cool Springs, Parkland, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where are you guys located at?
We're both West Coast Canes. I'm in California and he's in Arizona.
Gotcha. So that's where what's his name? Chris. Yeah, he's in Oregon, right?
He's in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Portland, yeah, man, that's crazy.
So I mean, we might have to rebrand as the West Coast Canes show or something. But yeah, so we're gonna be out there though for the Michigan State game. I booked my tickets and everything. So yeah, man. Hopefully we get to see you out there if you're going out for that one.
I go to every game, man. I'm about 35 minutes, from the stadium. Listen, I've been going to games since 1991 and became a season ticket holder in 1998, right after the UCLA, game that we won. And then so, I've been going like religiously. I don't miss any home games. I pretty much go to every away game, bowl game. Cost me a lot of money, but and then even though it cost me a lot of money, it's the sorrow. Like a couple of years ago, I spent a whole week in New York. When we played Wisconsin in the Pinstripe Bowl, and you're dropping like $5-10 grand, and just you're sitting there in Yankee Stadium, like, oh great, you're at Yankee Stadium, and then it's like the game starts, and like I wanted to leave after like the first quarter, So I don't know why they do it to me. Like, I allow them to continue to do it to me, but
it's a toxic, toxic relationship, but you love it,
I won't change it, man. It's something I've been doing. It's in my blood. It's hopefully my kids. My youngest son, his middle name is Kane. And it's for a reason.
There you go.
So it's just it's something that we do, man. It's something that you got to have a passion for something, right? And my passion, like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. But man, I think I might have to start if this Canes don't turn something around, man, because they're literally killing me from the inside out.
I think you're gonna have this year. I don't know. I mean, something special is going to happen. I mean, because the last time, when was the last time we had all these returning people coming back? Most people, it's junior year and they're out.
Yeah. I
mean, the first time, so we got a lot of depth finally. I mean, we haven't had depth in a while. Of course, we had the sanctions, took away our scholarships. But matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, we're still not at full scholarship level. But I mean, there's just this feeling going around that I have, different than the last couple of years. But I mean, I think something's gonna they're not going to win the Natty or nothing this year, but I think we're definitely going to make the ACC championship game. I really do.
Yeah, and the ACC really, I mean, if you're looking at the Coastal as far as Carolina, that's I'm not even calling
Not
them.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, again, they're returning Sam Howell. Obviously, Carter and them are gone. Newsom's gone. So they lost.
Both of those guys are running backs are gone.
Yeah, both of them. Carter and Williams are gone. Newsom's gone. Brown's gone. So not saying that they're not going to have any athletes, but at the end of the day, man, like now is your opportunity to kind of right that. I mean, you've lost to them 2 years in a row. And, a lot of it, I think it has to do with Baker, but that's another story. So again, at the end of the day, if you can compete with Alabama, and I don't say win, but again, if you can compete, whether it's 10-point loss or, I mean, I don't even know. I think the spread opens up 23 points. I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm looking at the spread to open up. But if you're competitive and, you play tight and, you lose, by 10 or so, I think that's a very, impressive, game. And then obviously you come back with, I think Central Connecticut, and then you have Michigan State, and then you have Virginia. Like literally, you're 3-1. I think you have a bye week after that, and then you get ready to play. So, I think it's an opportunity for Miami really to, 10-1. It sounds like a realistic, record this year. And then again, you go to the ACC title game. Who are you facing? Clemson. Okay. Now their quarterback did really look good against, Notre Dame last year. The backup. And but you're not playing NTN. You don't have Amari Rodgers, so you don't have you're not playing against Trevor Lawrence. So again, now's an opportunity to play against Clemson and see what you got against Clemson too. So at some point, like the pyramid's got to fall on Alabama and on Clemson, right? So why not be this year and have Miami go ahead and just shock the world?
Why not?
Hey,
I'm all down for it.
Preach it. I love it. Hey man, so we just want to thank you for coming on, man. It was a lot of fun. We want to have you on again too when the season starts and stuff. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah,
likewise, man. And again, you guys are more than welcome. If you guys want to, hop on the Cane Gang show, we'd love to have you guys on. And obviously, we, as Cane fans, whether it's a podcast or whatever the case may be, man, we want to support everybody out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
especially if it's a positive thing, man. We're just trying to get the word out and try to get the knowledge out to different people about what's going on. There's a lot of people who don't get, maybe don't have internet or don't have, the access to the clips and things like that. So that's why I feel like different shows, they're viable because they can reach different people and do certain things. So continue to do the good work that you guys are doing. And again, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. And I love listening to you guys, man. You guys are right on point, man. I mean, I enjoy you guys. I mean, and I really was excited when Chris said you were going to come on the show. I mean, yeah. So I'm happy. I really appreciate it, man. Really do.
No, I'm glad, man. You guys keep up the good work. I know it's probably 6:30 out in your guys' time. You guys are getting that sun to go down. My son's been down, so
yeah, I gotta get out of here. I gotta feed the boy, put him to bed.
There you go, man. I appreciate it, man. Listen, you guys have a great night, and we'll talk soon, man.
You too, Derek. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
All right. Heck yeah.
What a cool guy, man.
Yeah, he is.
Cane fanatic, man. Going to every single game and bowl game. I love it.
There's a lot of them that do that, though. There's a lot of them.
There is. Yeah. I mean, I feel like when there's a team like Miami, like there's going to be fans like that, right?
Exactly. Because, I mean, if I had the funds to do it, I would be doing it. My goal is to get a RV when I retire. I want to get an RV, and then like during the football season, I'm just going to get in it and not get out of it until it's over. I'm going to go from game to game, wherever it's at in Miami, wherever I'm going to travel in the RV. And yeah, I'm going to do that. That's my goal.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I mean, goal is, if I had that money, I would have a house in Miami. That's what I'm saying. Hey, can we talk about something though? Can we talk about something though? So I was looking at hotels, right? Bro, they charging you up the ass for the hotel, the taxes. There's like all the county taxes and the city taxes. For
a lot of them have
like
resort
Florida,
fees and all
resort fees. Like you look at the per night and it's like, it's like $300, a night or whatever. And then like the total came out to like $1,400. I'm like, what the freak?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I know we YouTube live. Sorry. One almost slipped.
No, that's okay. But no, you're right. I mean, that's how they do it, but that's how they make their money. That's why Florida does not pay taxes, the people, employee taxes or whatever it is, state tax. That's right.
Yeah. Well, must be nice. It hurts me.
People
though,
like you and me, when we go to visit, we pay it for them.
Hey, you better love me for coming there then. That's all I gotta say.
They will. They're going to love us.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited, man. Spring game. I know we asked Derek this, but what are you most excited for? Looking forward to this Saturday?
Man, just first of all, no injuries. I want no injuries from anybody. Period. That's the main thing. Other than that, I just want to see, like you said, the offensive line working together, holding off the defensive line. You know what I mean? The pass rush, opening up some holes. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for 16 million touchdowns or anything like that. I just want to make sure that we can protect Derek King when he gets back, and we can open up some holes for whoever QB or running back one's going to be. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I want to see the numbers. I want to see how Avante does again, if he can have another, make another play like an interception or something. And then also too, I want to see, if there's any of the defensive ends that make some plays, or anyone else on the defensive line. I know Nesta is out for spring, but I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to too. And then maybe some Rambo action. I would love to see all the Rambo gifs and all the Photoshop pictures, because I'm all about it, and I'm all about the hype. So hopefully he can have a big day too. I want to see that, man. I want to see some explosiveness.
I want to get to see Canes football on the TV.
I know, man. That's awesome.
It's been a long time since we've had anything like that.
Yeah, you got to make sure you fix those antennas on the TV though before you.
I went and got extra tinfoil. I'm good to go.
Oh God, man! I wonder if people are gonna get sick of my old people jokes.
No,
they won't. They never get old.
That's the only reason why they come, probably.
Oh, it's the roast season.
That's it.
Oh man.
That's
man.
funny.
Well, this one went by quick, man. It was really fun talking to Derek and stuff. So, but yeah, do you got anything else you want to talk about or anything?
Nothing but just the normal stuff. I mean, at the end of the show, go ahead. What you got?
Do we know what happened? I know Pop Cooney tweeted out something that
here we go again, but I haven't seen anything other than from that, so I don't know what that's about.
So we still don't know. I was hoping maybe while we were going,
that something would pop.
That something would pop, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, I've got no alerts and anything for any of that stuff.
Okay, dang. Well,
let's go ahead and end it. As always, we're here for Luca to the U. It's going to help provide. So if you buy these stickers from Stickers at AB, they're going to donate the profits to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society on behalf of the family. So if you can please go to www.stickersbyab.com and order your Luca to the U stickers. I got mine. I know that he's got his. See, here's mine, my Luca to the U sticker. I got ordered a couple extras, I got one on the car and one I keep here. Got his other one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have. I did a little bit of research too today, so they also
didn't they come out with shirts or something?
They have shirts, but I haven't got that down. But I did find their GoFundMe page. Mm-hmm. So if you go to GoFundMe.com, you can put in B41A5C47, and that'll take you straight to their donation page. They still are short of their goal, so they still need some help. So if you guys can please help donate, spread the word around. I mean, it's the more people that can help them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, even if you can't donate, just spread the word. We obviously know, tough situations. With the pandemic, people haven't been able to, find jobs and, whatever the case may be. Just help out. It does a lot.
Yeah, you can even donate $1 if you want to. I mean, just any amount, and you can do it anonymously. You can have your name out. So it's however you want to do. It's just, I mean, they're just going to get all the help they can get, and we're here to help them out as much as we can.
Absolutely. Well, man, episode in the books. How you feeling?
Good. I enjoyed it. I love it,
man. I'm excited. I'm ready to recap that game. on Tuesday.
I'll be ready. I'll be watching it on Saturday.
And we got Jazz coming on too. We're going to talk some recruiting.
Got Jazz.
We're going to do our recruiting roundup with her.
I'm gonna do that, and then I also want to talk to her some about her edits that she does. Because though I've watched her from, like I said, I've been following her since she started, and watching her grow from the first edit she's done to the edit she's doing. Man, look out now! I'm gonna have to get some pointers.
Oh man, well, Caniacs, it was quite a show, man.
It was a good.
Glad to be doing this with you, yeah, man, let's call it.
That's it. Remember to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all of them. All right, guys.
And on YouTube, bro.
And on YouTube. Let's do it. Go Canes.
Go Canes.